boy, and let's get on our way so we can all enjoy our Friday. So today's class, ladies and germs, we are talking about the Boost platform. Now, as we have gone through and looked at all these different platforms that can help automate processes that can be automated, Boost showed up. And so Boost originally, and they've come a long way in the 2 years that we've signed with them. So originally Boost was designed as a pure Facebook ad promotion tool. So the idea was everyone knows the power of Facebook, and anyone that's been to any of our classes, Jamie and I will tell you over and over and over again, we think that the best eyeballs for the dollar is still on Facebook. So advertising in whatever it is that you're advertising on, that's great. But the most eyeballs you can get for the dollar is still on Facebook. Now the trick with the Facebook ads is always the same things. Number one, Facebook has a very, very strict legal policy about making sure that the fair housing laws are followed, which means that any real estate ad you produce can get flagged. Now, I have tried for several years to try to follow their logic and try to figure out their algorithms. The bottom line is I still don't know how they flag an ad and when they do or when they don't. But if you're on Facebook and you're creating your own ad, there's a couple of legal things that have to be in place, right? You have to claim the brokerage. You have to claim that you're an agent. And so it doesn't matter if you're doing an ad for yourself, or you're doing an ad for an open house, or you're doing an ad for a listing, you're doing an ad for a price reduction. Any of those things all have to have some legalities that are attached to them. The other thing that's really important to note is that if you do not have a business Facebook page, you can't do ads. So when people ask me all the time, hey, should I, all of my friends and everything's connected on my personal Facebook account, I don't have an agent page just yet. I always say that's fine, except for if you want to run some advertising, you can't do that from a personal page. The same goes for Instagram. You can't use ads on Instagram if you have a personal page or a page on Instagram, personal handle, whatever it is. So the first issue we tried to figure out was we tried to make sure that all the agents knew how to build an ad that had a compelling visual and still had room for enough text to, advertise what it is that you're trying to advertise, but at the same time, make sure the brokerage shows up and all those other things that are part of those legalities. We ran into some problems over that first year because whenever you're building the ad, as everyone would have a question about, which is this image too big? Is it high enough resolution? Because most of the Facebook ads are basically a postage stamp. And if you look at Facebook's user data, Facebook will tell you that it's like 78%, I think at this point, of users are on their phones when they're on Facebook. So now we have a different situation because not only am I looking on my phone, which is naturally a smaller screen than my desktop or my laptop, but in addition to that, I'm doing this thing with my thumb, right? Because we get on Facebook, we're scrolling, we're like going through. So finding the right size of the ad, getting all the legal disclaimer language, all that kind of stuff set, and that's enough of a task for anyone who just wants to focus on Facebook. But you guys are out showing homes and doing open houses and calling and doing your SOI and finding and all the other kind of stuff. So what we realized was that was going to be a hindrance to making that happen. So now here's our problem that we're trying to solve. If on one hand, we know that Facebook has the most eyeballs per dollar, right? On the second hand, if you have to do all these steps to create an effective Facebook ad, those two things are not necessarily compatible with one another. So I went out and started looking for some automation tools that could help in this regard, and we found Boost. So Boost is a product name, and the company that created Boost and runs Boost is called HomeSpotter. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, that's because your BHHS app is on HomeSpotter. So HomeSpotter makes our BHHS Utah Properties app, and they also make this Boost platform. So in addition to that, now we enter Facebook's legal issues. We had lots of agents that were trying to do ads. They put in their credit card, they built the whole ad, and then when they submitted it to the Facebook ad campaign, they would get an email back in a couple hours saying your ad has been flagged and we're not going to run it. And it's all because of this tiny little, in the world of technology, in the web-based technology, it's called a modal. So whenever you're on a website and you click something and then something slides down, or a new box pops up, or anything that happens that's sort of interactive on a website, that's called a modal. And Facebook has a tiny little modal when you're creating the ad that drops down from the top, and it's a 2-line little modal that says, I agree that I'm following the Federal Fair Housing Act guidelines, that I'm not, promoting this house, and then I'm not going to deny some family the ability to walk through it and all the little things. It's literally like one run-on sentence. And at the end of that run-on sentence is a tiny little checkbox. And if you miss that modal when it comes down and you hit submit on the ad, your ad's flagged, right? Here's the other issue. The modal doesn't drop down all the time. So you're in there, you're making your Facebook ad, or your assistant's making the Facebook ad, something comes down, you try to submit it, you think your ad's running over the weekend, you come back on Monday, you finally check the 79 million emails you got over the weekend, and in one of those emails is Facebook telling you that your ad is not running because it usually just says your ad has been rejected, and they don't really give you a reason. I'll tell you right now, that is the reason. It's because that little modal popped down and you did it. And the other thing that became troublesome was that the reason we went to the Boost platform was that modal, you can't just resubmit your ad, you actually have to rebuild the ad. So now you gotta go back and do this whole work effort thing. And so we thought, you know, there's gotta be a better way. So enter Boost. I will define what Boost is, and then we're gonna jump over to the platform. Boost right now is probably the easiest way to get a just listed, price reduced, open house, or an ad for yourself across to Facebook. So it takes anything that you have, they're integrated with the MLS, so all your listings are already present on the Boost platform. So all you have to do is pick the listing, and you can run all these different kinds of campaigns that I'm about to show you as we go through here. The other major issue with Facebook ads is always comes down to choosing the audience, okay? Now, of all the wonderful things and wonderful talents that everybody has in the brokerage, the idea that you can understand demographic and psychographics of where your potential buyers or your potential new customers are coming from, that's a tough one, right? A lot of times we think, well, I got this home right now. I mean, I'm reminded of Moab right now with Rachel. If you had people that are moving from New York, New Jersey, Texas, coming over, Trish has got a listing right now, a great listing back on the Wasatch Back, and where are those buyers going to come from, So now you mix in the idea that potentially they might be coming from out of state. So should my Facebook ad, go, should we do it nationally? And then it's a little bit like if you make the audience too big, it's like smearing too little butter over too much toast, right? You can't quite get that kind of coverage that is really effective. If you pick too small a geographic area, then you're bombarding a certain demographic / psychographic, and you don't know if there's any potential buyers or sellers in that pool. So what Boost does, Boost has a bunch of smart engineers that have gone through and they flag, or in other words, collect other people's interests on Facebook. Not interests like if I ran an ad and I wanted to boost an open house, I want to include maybe agents in that pool, right? Because I want agents to know that I'm doing an open house because they might have a buyer, right? So I want them to know, hey, we're doing an open house this weekend. Maybe they missed it on the MLS. Maybe they missed it on whatever feed they're looking at for new listings. The other issue, though, is that potentially we have a problem because if I don't get that mix just quite right, then I'm paying for this ad. It's being served to eyeballs, but those eyeballs aren't potentially what I want to click through. So we found Boost because they go collect all this different data on all these different populations. And when you choose to do a Boost ad, they choose the audience for you. Now that doesn't mean you can't augment the audience. And keep in mind, we're going to show you all these things here in a second in the actual product. But if you really want to make sure that your ad is being successful, you're going to measure that by how many people are clicking on your ad. Right? The whole idea of a Facebook ad is to get someone to click on that ad, and then you, as the agent, have the ability to choose when they click where that lands, right? So it can land on your personal BHHS Utah agent page, right? You might send them to your bio page, right? On the About Me that you have on your agent page. You might send them to the Spotlight listing, right? So they can go through the photo tour and the videos and do all that kind of stuff. You might want to send them to Boost actually has some really beautifully designed landing pages that you can choose that Boost then, because they're connected to the MLS, they take all of those photos and then you can send them there. But the whole idea is that if you spend the time and the effort to run a Boost ad, what you want more than anything is that when they click, they stay in your ecosystem, right? You don't want to send them to Zillow. You don't want to send them to where it's a page so that when they're interested and if they choose to fill out the contact form, that is on a page that is designed to go to you, right? So that's the whole objective with this whole Boost platform. So now we have trying to design the ad, trying to get the right pictures, trying to make sure that legal disclaimers are all there and in line, trying to make sure we have the right audience, trying to make sure that we're passing the law of the Fair Housing Act. You put all those things together, that is why we found the Boost platform. So Boost does all that for you. Designs the ad, throws your logo up, throws your contact information up. It puts everything that you need in place, and you do one-time setup where you connect your business Facebook page to your Boost platform. You do that one time, and after that one time, they'll actually send you an email. Hey, we saw you had a new listing. Do you want to run an ad? And then you can go in there, you choose it. You literally can click on the ad, run the campaign, and then once you put your credit card information in once, right, you literally just go do it, right? And so I'll walk through all those steps as we go through. So let's go over here and let's show the Boost platform. So here we go. Yeah, Brad said he's tried, 50 different times Facebook ads. He gets rejected every time. I'm telling you, Brad, it's that silly little fair housing modal that shows up, and it's really, really hard to see as we do that. So let's go over and let's look at Boost. So the way that you get to your Boost dashboard, if you have set up your mobile app, then you already know how to log into your Boost dashboard. If you haven't set up your app yet, we're going to go over how to do that. So this is the Boost login page. Now, because you guys, one of the most impressive things about agents is your ability to remember MLS numbers. It's magical. Like, you could get somebody that says, what's your phone number? You're not going to get the last 3 digits of your own, partner or your kid's phone number, but you guys can remember freaking 9-digit MLS numbers like there's nothing else, right? In your sleep, you could just be laying down and be repeating MLS numbers as that rolls around. And so in order to make sure that this is as smooth as possible, you can come to boost-bhhsutah.homespotter.com. So in my world, in my brain, that's my talent, as I remember URLs like that, like nobody else. But since that's probably not what you're going to do the first time, you go to, like all good things, you're going to start at the intranet. I know that you were all, guys, complete that sentence for me. I know it. On the intranet, over here on the left-hand side, on our vertical navigation menu, if you come about half of the way down, there's this little link right here that says Boost Dashboard Login. That will also take you to the Boost homepage. So either way you're going to get there, that's how you get there. Once you click that button, you're going to get this page right here. Now, if you have not yet logged into your Boost dashboard, do not fear. You come right down here because we had them put a big giant part of this page that says, is this your first time logging in? Question mark. If so, all you have to do is put in the email address that you are using as your MLS email address, okay? So some of you use your BHHSutah.com. That's great. That's your professional email address, and that's what you use. So that's what's on the MLS, no problem. But many of you also have, your own domains, right? So whatever that, if it's a Gmail address, or if you bought, kickandbuttonmoab.com, that's pretty good, Rachel. We should think Kicking Butt in Moab. That's pretty good. So if you have that too, whatever it is, you put that email address in there and you hit send instructions. They will send you a setup wizard. Very simple. You put in your name, your some basic information, and then they'll log you straight into the Boost dashboard. I, as you might have imagined, have already signed up, and so I'm going to go here and I'm just going to hit login. So now we are going into the Boost dashboard. Now, as an admin, I get to see everyone's listings. I get to see all the campaigns that are running, everything else. What you will see when you come in here are just your active listings. That's all you're going to see on your dashboard, okay? So do not fear if it does not look exactly like this. And if you don't have any listings yet, you're not going to see any listings. But either way, you'll be able to get to this particular dashboard. So when we come in here, you can see these are all the active campaigns that are running right now that have been going through. Your homepage, if you have active listings, will sort of look like this. So you can see that Boost, because it's connected to all 3 of our MLSs, they'll come in here and they'll say, oh, I noticed that you flagged that we have an open house. So they're going to assume that maybe you want to run an open house ad on Facebook. So that's what we have up here, all 3 of those. And then down here, these are all the active listings. You can see this little flag right here, which says price reduced. So if you make a price adjustment, you have a price reduced ad there. And these are all built so that you can go ahead and make things happen. What I want to do is take just a basic active listing, just like you'd have in yours, and we're going to show you how to run a campaign on an active listing, but the entire steps we're about to go through here are exactly the same no matter what type of ad you're going to run, okay? So we're here, we look at our listings, and I'm just going to say, let's go to this house right here in Farmington, and we'll go ahead and we'll click on create listing ad. So now it's going to go do its thing. It's going to come you back to this little thing, and it's going to tell you, I've got all these things you could do with this listing, right? I can run a new listing, new to market. I could say, I just had a Matterport or a 3D walkthrough, and I'm going to show you this virtual tour. We have the virtual open house type ad. We have an open house event. We have the price reduce event, and we have just the standard listing event. So whatever that particular element resonates with you, that's the ad that you want to run on Facebook, you just pick whatever one of these 6 ad types that you're trying to run. I will tell you that if you are using Spotlight, even though you didn't pay for a Matterport or a official 3D walkthrough, the virtual tour and the virtual open house were great if all you do is take them to the Spotlight microsite, because they already have the music and the slow-mo pictures that are walking around and all that kind of stuff. And all those microsites are connected to you as an agent, which means if someone goes and lands on the Spotlight page and they're like, I got to see this house, they go down there to the bottom and they put in the contact information, that email lead will come straight to you, okay? So that's one of those cool things. A few weeks ago, Will was doing a class on his Wednesday morning training, and we were talking about one of the core things that we can do for both sellers and for buyers. And the phrase that came out of that class that I thought everyone really, really appreciated was kind of gold, was we can open the door, right? So obviously that's multiple meanings for that phrase, we can open the door. The idea is if you want to get in that house, as an active licensed agent, I can get the key box in, I can set up a time, I can call the seller's agent, I can get you in there, I can open the door. So this is an extension of that idea of I can open the door, or we can open the door. So on this one, again, we're not going to go through these, but just keep in mind, the process is the same no matter what we do on each one of these things. So I'm going to come down here where it just says your listing. I'm going to promote your listing to a wide audience of buyers. And I'm going to click on this. And then it's going to go to the actual page that helps us design and customize the ad. Now, if you've never run a Boost ad, I strongly encourage you to just let Boost do what it does. Okay, let it pick the audience, let it pick the language, let it pick all the stuff, let it pick the picture, unless the algorithm is really, really bad and you're like, that's a terrible picture, there's a much better photo somewhere in there. Let it set the ad up by itself, because they're very good at what they do. And again, the objective here is to get this ad in front of as many eyeballs as possible, okay? So we come over here and it says review your ad. Step number 1, if you've not done this before, is right here at the top, make sure that it's on your Facebook page. Now by default, it's gonna be on the brokerage Facebook page. So one thing you wanna make sure that you do is connect that to your Facebook page. And the way that you do that, you slide a little bit to the right, and there's this little gray link that says change page. Now, if you have Facebook open on your computer and you're logged into your Facebook account, if you hit this change page button, it's gonna go out and say, I know exactly where you are, right? So you say, let's go ahead and connect to Facebook, okay? And it's gonna tell you, we're gonna connect to Facebook, and then you're gonna choose, it's smart enough to know, it looks like you only have a personal Facebook page, so we can't run ads, so make sure that it's a business Facebook page. But the Facebook structure is that you have a personal page, and then if you have business pages or anything else that goes below that, all of those things, right, are tied to your personal Facebook page. So it will actually go into your personal Facebook page and it'll say, oh, there's Bob Stark's business page, right? So it'll know automatically that that's where it is. And then all you do is you select it, say, choose this page, and it binds your Boost dashboard now to your business Facebook page. I'm not gonna change this one here, but that's the button right there. That's what you press. The modal pops up. It says, here's the Facebook page. You go, yep, and then you're back to business. So we'll go right here. We'll say, yep, we're gonna cancel and go back. The second thing you're gonna do, right? So the first thing you do is make sure it's connected to your business page, your business page, not the brokerage one. And the second one is it takes a snippet of the public remarks on the MLS, okay? Now, it typically takes the first 3 or 4 sentences, it punches them in there. You can see that Trish right here has some emojis and some other stuff on there that show well, you know, if you're looking at a Facebook ad. But you might say, you know what, I really, really want someone to pay attention to this ad, so I'm going to adjust the standard MLS public remarks to something more compelling when I'm on a Facebook ad. So you can literally come in here and go, you know what I want to do is I'm going to say, you have to see this home, because that's probably how I would sell it. As anyone that knows me or been to any of these classes know, I'm fairly excitable. But this whole point is that we're going to go straight in here and make it something like super, super compelling. Or if there's something that's really neat about this home that is not at all like normal, let's say it's, you know, light fixtures. Let's say that there's some sweet action cabinets in the kitchen. Let's say that it has incredible views. How cool was Gary Howard on the Wasatch Front sales meeting this week, where he, the first ever agent that when it was his time to show his listing, he was at the listing. And so he literally put his phone up and he showed not the whole house. He showed some kitchen. He showed this cool, great room sort of concept. And then he walked out on the deck and he said, but this is why someone's going to buy this house. And it was this amazing view that you could see from the south end to the north end of the valley. It was gorgeous. And he explained that all the property in front of him was owned by the city and it's a no build zone. They can't build it. In other words, the view will never be blocked, right? And that was a great little selling tool. So you might want to put in the text right here. You might say, you have to see this home, a view that will make you cry with tears of joy, or something a little more wordy. So you take that, but that's the text you have. Again, if you haven't tried a boost ad ever and you just don't have time, just go ahead and plug this in. Or if you're looking for some catches, you know, say, give me some phrases, give me something that I can use on this ad. Then you know, call me, call Jamie, you know, call any one of the marketing team, you know, say, hey, I'm looking for, you know, a couple of sentences that are different about this house. So then we come down here. So remember, one of our first issues was designing the ad so the legalities and the disclaimer and the brokerage and all that kind of stuff looks good. See right here, bam, we've got it. There's Trish, a great picture. She's got her name. She's got the brokerage name right there. And now we're looking at the actual photos. So you're saying, you know what, this is a really cool house in Farmington, but they're taking sort of one of the first 2 or 3 pictures off the MLS. And you say, you know what, the photo I really want is a little further down the line. I just click edit photo and layout. Here's every picture that's on the MLS. So you can scroll down and you can say, you know what I really want to show them is I really want to show them this laundry room, because heaven knows we've never seen a laundry room that is as nice as this laundry room. So we're saying, which one do you want to prefer? And it says, this is your name. This is the one without the thing. This bottom one here where you take off your branding, you're going to get in trouble. The board or somebody could complain because you're not advertising the brokerage listing. So pick one of these top 2. But sometimes people don't want their photo. Oh my gosh, white cabinets, enough room for 2 big energy efficient washer and dryer. Of course, this is the photo. Nobody in the world would pass this up, right? So you come down here and then you fill in what you want on that photo. So the first one is just Trish Nichols. And obviously that text right there is showing up right there at the top. The Berkshire Hathaway Home Services has to be there. That's legal. And then you have this thing like this little, you know, 2-bed, 3-bath, 1 parcel in Farmington. Right? So if you want to change that and get a little bit more excited, right? You could just say something like, look at this laundry room. I can smell the laundry sheets. Okay, so we come in here and then this is the tag, right? Is this just listed? Is this new to market? Is this, you know, how do you want to phrase that, right? What's the title of this particular type of ad? Just listed, or you know, you say now active, or whatever it is that you want. Again, the first couple of times it might behoove you to just kind of let that go and make that happen. And then if you choose to have the ad shown on other places besides Facebook, it's asking you, how do we want all this kind of stuff to be, what's my contact information, right? Because it's bound to the MLS, it's going to come in here and it's going to adjust what you see. So if that phone number, see on our number 8 right here, if this phone number is like your main office number, right? Because you've never populated your profile in the MLS to have your, what you call your business line, whether that be a business line that we have given you from the brokerage side or your cell phone, put whatever number you're going to answer, right? Because this is where you're going to drive that traffic. You want to make sure that something's there. And then below here, it says the address. I suggest leaving the address. And then we have the other thing, the 3 beds, 2 baths, and then the asking price there. If you want to take a look at what it looks like, you just here preview your ad. it goes and generates the ad preview, and it says, here's how it's going to look. So if you decide to post it on the web, it looks like this. On the Facebook side, it's going to take a little second to render here, but it shows you what those ads look like. So it's real simple for you to go in there and make that happen. And then to get rid of the preview, in the upper right-hand corner here, you have this little X. So we're just going to hit that X, bam, and now we're back to our ad design page, okay? So now we come down here and it says, hey, do you want to go do a video ad? So you can choose whether or not you want to do a video ad. So you sit right here, you hit build your video ad, and it's going to say, what images do you want as part of this video ad? Now, just like Spotlight takes some music and some pictures, and it does that little slow move around where, you know, it moves around the pictures and it does that, you're doing the same thing here, right? All you're doing is you're selecting the photos that you want to show up. So we'll pick these first ones here. They already saw the laundry room, so let's just show them what the living room looks like. And we'll take them out here to the deck. And here we go. And then we say edit the image captions. It's like very wizard driven. You just bounce to the next step. And it comes over here, and you can literally say something about each image, okay? Now, in the respect out of time here, we're not going to type something clever on each one of these 6 images, but if you want to do a video ad, this is how easy that is to go ahead and do, okay? So we'll go ahead and cancel out of here, and we'll cancel out of here, and then we go to probably the second most important part of this whole Boost platform. If you have this ad running and you've paid for this ad to run, and someone clicks on the ad, where are you going to send them? So there's a couple of options. The first thing it says, I have a virtual tour link, right? So if you paid for the Matterport or some other 3D walkthrough, all you're going to do is go to Spotlight and go edit the video tour links, and you're just going to copy the video tour link and you're just going to paste it right in there, okay? That's how you do the virtual tour thing. Or you could say, I don't have a virtual tour link, right? I do not have a video, or I'll upload a video. So Eric Jensen was asking, how do I use Boost to promote a video walkthrough that he's already produced, right? You say, I have a video walkthrough that I want to upload. So you just say, okay, and then you can actually go grab the MP4 file off your computer and just load it up, just like a picture, right? So you hit upload video, and it'll pop the little thing on your computer, just like this, that lets you go choose where that file is, and you can choose that file, and then it'll use the video you've already produced. Or you could say, it's not a video, I just want the little ad, I want the picture for the first time, that's all I want to do. So I just say, I do not have a video. This right here is the existential question, right? That existential question is, do I block them from seeing the full photos until they give me their name and their email? And that would be called a gated landing page, meaning you have to tell me who you are before I show you these pictures behind it. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of that. The pro would be that if somebody really wants to see that house and you can get them in that house, because remember, we open the door, that would be nice, because then they'd put in their name and their email. Cons on that are pretty straightforward, which is I don't believe that in this day and age, someone's going to give me their information yet, right? Or I'm going to get Santa Claus and northpole@gmail.com as the email address, right? So gated has, it's a decision you got to make personally. I would say that if you yourself were trying to look at a home, representing a buyer, and you had to fill out that information beforehand, you'd probably click off, right? You'd probably send them a hot sheet, send them a link from your own webpage, because the pictures and the ability to see this property exist in a lot of different places, right? So choosing a gated ad might be a little bit difficult. Michael, you had a comment there? Oh, sorry.
If in fact you do gated and they don't respond to it, does that still count as a view?
Not only a view, but a click, because they saw it.
Even if it's gated. Okay.
They saw it, they clicked on it, and they landed on your page. So you got them there, right? So now the question is, well, clearly they didn't want to fill out the information yet, right? So in this day and age with real estate, it's pretty clear that somebody can find images of this home in a lot of different places where they don't have to give up any information, right? So your choice is, if you paid for the ad, obviously they're compelled enough to click on the ad, and then they take them to that page where it says you got to fill out your information. They might go, sorry, I'm not there yet, right? I'm still.
What is your recommendation?
My recommendation would be try it ungated. right? Because
you.
obviously you're going to have a lot more people that if they're interested in the house, you got the eyeballs, you paid for the eyeballs, then you paid for the click, you might as well give them what they're talking about. So it also explains what's the difference right here. You can make that happen, or you could say I want an ungated page. So both of the options in this section right here below the landing page, both of those sections are the Boost designed landing pages. Jamie and her team designed them. You know, it's got all the brokerage stuff and the Cabernet and cream and all the branding that you'd ever want. But then it stays within the Boost community because, again, it's connected to the MLS. And because we filled out all this information correctly, Boost will send you any lead that shows up, right, from that landing page. But again, now you're using that landing page as opposed to something else. Travis, you had a comment?
Yeah, I was going to say, as far as the gated pages go, something I've done that has been kind of successful so far is instead of trying to collect their information, I direct them to the download link to the app, which when they download it, they have to create an account. And so not only do I get them to have the app, I get their info at the same time.
Great comment. Great comment. And again, this is in regards to what behaviors are you going to ask them for once they click through, right? So again, this section right here is all about the Boost landing page. The section below, see right here where I'm circling my mouse where it says your own custom listing page, this might be your best bet, okay? So we're gonna say, instead of using the Boost landing page where I have to choose gated or ungated, I'm gonna bring them into my digital world, right? So every single one of you has your own website, which is usually your first and last name .bhhutah.com. You can send them there. You can send them to your about page. You can send them to any one of those places, right? So for example, if my friend Tammy just wanted them to go to her page, I would say, I would just pull my page up like this. So here's Tammy, right? And I could say, I want them to come to my website. And then once they're on my website, I might want them to know a little bit about me. So I go to Tammy's about page right here. So here's her page, here's her background, here's some new to market listings. And anything that happens on this page, right? Anytime they pick one of these listings or contact or whatever, that lead's going to Tammy, okay? I could do this, or I could send them to my Spotlight page, right? Now the Spotlight, the microsite, so let's go do this. Let's go down, we'll grab a listing. We'll grab here the view microsite. So this Spotlight home tours right here, I might want to send them to this page. This is the Spotlight page where it has the video walkthrough and it has all the other kind of cool stuff going on. So as this finishes its loading here. So this is the Spotlight page. And again, if they want to contact you or they want to do anything else like that, they're in here. Again, all of this is now well within our legal framework. We have all our disclaimers. All this is done for you. You don't have to worry about that. You're just picking when they click on your ad, where are you going to send them, right? And that could be anything, right? Maybe you have your own website. Maybe you have not one from the brokerage. Maybe you set up a YouTube channel that has a bunch of videos of the property. All of those are just links. They're just links like, when you share a link or a website with any of your friends, all you do is you come up here to the top and you just copy this link like that. That's all you're doing. That's it. So you just pick where you want them to go. You copy that link, and then I come back here to my Boost page, and I say I want to use my own listing page, and then it asks you, great, where do you want to send them? So in this case, I'm just going to say, send them here, cut and paste. Just that simple, okay? And then you'll notice that it tells you, got it. See that little green check? It says, got it. We know where to send them now. You're good to go. So when you make that choice, to where you're going to send them, again, I'd recommend use your agent website, your BHHSutah.com website, or if you have your own personal website, send them there, and then send them to a page that lets them do something. So just like I was over here and I was talking about Tammy, this might be what I want them to click on, right? I want them to know who I am. I want them to know I'm going to be there at the open house. I want them to see my face and learn a little bit about me. That's a great landing page, right? Or again, you can send them to the Spotlight home tours, or you can send them to the 3D walkthrough on Spotlight. You can send them anywhere you want. Those links are really simple. Again, it's just cut and paste. But the difference between the Boost landing page and your own custom listing page is you get to send that click wherever you're choosing, okay? Either way, if they decide to fill out the form, they decide to give you the information, you go ahead and do that. Now, what Travis was talking about was his app download link. So your app download link, you can find that because you're in the Boost dashboard. you can actually go right up here to where it says share your app, and it'll show you where it'll say this is your link, and you could just copy it and paste it at the bottom of that. So either way, it's in good shape, okay? So here's our pictures. You can see it scrolling through the pictures and showing people how it's gonna look. So I come down here and I have my own custom landing page, and now we get to the one that traditionally trips up everybody if you're doing this outside of the Boost platform. You're choosing the audience, okay? So as I mentioned at the beginning of this call, Boost does a lot of work. There's a lot of algorithms and analytics that they run to try to find people that are a potential buyer for this home, or potential somebody who wants to come see this home. What would they possibly be looking for? Now, I don't want to freak anybody out, but this is how the internet works these days. So if my friend Bob was down there in St. George and he started looking for baby cribs because he's going to have another baby. Sorry, Bob, I didn't mean to scare you. But yeah, let's say he starts looking for baby cribs. And so he's on Facebook and he's looking at the Facebook marketplace, and he puts a post out, and he's, you know, he likes Gerber, or he likes any one of these manufacturers of stuff. He has all that stuff. Those elements of your Facebook behavior are all part of your anonymous Facebook profile, okay? So they say, all right, somebody's looking for cribs. Someone's looking for a moving van. Someone's looking for, they start looking at mortgage loans on Facebook. They're starting to show signs that I'm ready for a move, okay? That's what Boost is doing in the background for you, okay? They're going through, they're taking all that information, and they're building an audience that is supposed to be ready to see this kind of ad, right? Or if they're also looking at other real estate ads, if they've clicked on other real estate ads, any of those types of things that they do that. Now, the one question that we get all the time is, what if in your Facebook profile, you put that one of your interests is real estate, okay? Well, who's more likely than anyone else to put down that their interests are real estate? Agents, right? So if you're looking for a buyer, that's the kind of thing that we like Boost for, because they sort of edit out those things. They understand that what you're looking for on a new listing is probably buyer traffic, not necessarily another agent. So again, if you've never run a Boost ad before, try it one time with just the standard audience. Just try to have that happen. So then you come down on here and you select your plan. Now, we worked really hard with Boost to try to make sure that this was going to be not very much more, that is really terrible English, would not be more, significantly more than if you ran the ad yourself. Because keep in mind, Boost is optional. You don't have to use Boost to run your ads. You can go to the Facebook ad manager, you can build your own ad, you can do all that stuff yourself if you choose to. But in this particular example, let Boost pick the audience, okay? Now, you can also change the audience. You can go in there, you can add addresses. You can put in a comma, and you can say, I also want to include, you know, the zip code of 84060. So I could add that, right, as a Park City, show the ad in the Park City area. You could change this kind of thing to whatever you want. The question is just really just make sure that whatever you're doing in this particular example, you might want to just give them a chance to kind of do what they're going to do, right? Let them pick the audience for you. So that's what you do if you want to edit the audience, or if you leave it as Boost suggests, it will target the property and it'll serve up the audience based on what's going on. You come down here to the bottom and you basically have a small, medium, and large ad. What you're looking at is the ad views, okay? You're looking at, Boost is saying, I will serve this up between 6,000 and 7,000 people. We did a little bit of a survey and found out what's the average Facebook price? What's the average cost that people use on Facebook? $75. So that was it on both, on all our different markets, right? It was $75 was the average spend. I think the small ad on the Boost, again, these are the brokerage level prices. Those aren't what you're going to see. The small ad, I think, is now 89 or something like that. It's like 15 or 20% more to have them do all the work. And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for them to have created the ad and to automate all this stuff for you. So you just pick the ad. You pick the ad you want to use. If you've got a listing that's a little stale, or you're trying to get some more traffic, or better yet, you want to go back to the sellers. You want to say, hey man, we've done a lot for you. Let me show you what our Facebook activity's been. This is what you're going to be able to report on. This is the data that you're going to report. If you want to go back to the class that we taught on the digital marketing report, that's the title of that class, both on the YouTube BHHS Learning channel and on the intranet. You can go in there and you can actually pick, go see what that digital marketing report is. And Jamie goes into detail about how to take this data and show it to your sellers. So you just basically select the plan. So in this case, we'll just do a small plan. And then the last thing you got to worry about is how long do you want to run your ad? So the idea is you want to get activity as fast as possible when that listing goes on the market. So let's say that you had some showings, the open house is going good, you haven't run a boost ad, but now you're looking for a little turbo boost. You want to get a little juice in there, right, to get that going. You might want to come back here and your active listing is still active. You might want to run it on week 3 or week 4 or whatever you have. So it's going to be here. As long as that listing is active, it'll be part of your dashboard when you come in here. And then down below it says how long should we run your ad? You do that, and then you say we're going to do this. We're going to run it for 1 week, and then we come down here and we go ahead and we hit the checkout button. So when you do this, when you get this thing designed and ready to go, it's going to ask you one time to put in the credit card that you want to use, and it handles all the rest. It does all the Facebook ad management. It does all the disclaimers. It does all the fair housing checks. It does everything for you. So if you get to this spot where you're like, I know what it is that I want to use, all I got to do is come down here and pick the thing I need, and then I hit checkout, and away we go. So I'm going to pause here real quick before I show you a little bit on how you would see the analytics of that ad. But does anyone have any questions or comments at this point? Perfect. When you're running an active listing, and you'll see right here, it tells you engaged, clicks, and views. Views is I've served this up in this top one here. I've served this up 1,986 times. Okay, I have 105 clicks. Now, in the digital marketing world, the clicks are called CTR, click-through rate, okay? A click-through rate in this particular example of about 10%, I guess we're about 9% maybe, is huge. Click-through rates on a lot of web ads are like 0.05%, right? Or 2% or 4%. And so this will kind of give you an idea of how good Boost is at getting an ad that's served up to the right eyeballs so that somebody can click on this thing and get it through, right? So those clicks right there are really, really good, right? These are good all the way through here. It's always going to hover somewhere around 9-10%. You know, we've seen some that way up in the 15-20%. A lot of it has to do with the price range of the home and all that kind of stuff. But you start to see how all these elements of these ads come together to make this ad as effective as possible, right? That's the real objective, is try to make this thing as effective as possible. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to hit the view. It goes into detail about this ad. So this is showing you how the ad is and how long it's been running for. It shows you what the thing looks and all that kind of stuff is there. And then it shows you also, you could look at it where it's at on the web, but that's the exact same preview page that we've already covered in this thing. And that's it, folks. I mean, you log into Boost, you pick the listing you want, you choose one of those 6 listing types, ad types, let Boost do all the work for you, change and edit the photo if you choose to. Scroll down and then put in your credit card one time. You're off and going, so you're ready to rock. I think that Boost, in terms of a time saver, meets our objective of having all of our platforms do 2 E's for you. The 2 E's make you more effective and make it more efficient to run the ad, right? So you're going to spend less time and less heartache getting the ad out and running. And the second time, because of their ability to get the right kind of text and place it in the right kind of audience, it's a lot more effective. So I'm gonna stop right here. I'll go through the comments on chat, see if there's any questions that we have here. But that's the class, folks. This is recorded. You're gonna see this up on our learning channel, and you'll see this on the intranet here before the end of the day. But that's Boost, and you know, we think it's totally worth your time if you want to go ahead and give it a try. So if you got to jump, love you. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And I'll just scroll through these questions here and see if there's anything that we got to do. Looks like we're really good. So no questions. All right, cool. So I'll just hang out. Any other questions before we move on to our Friday? Fantastic. Everybody, thanks for being here. We love seeing you. We love these little digital classes. We're excited about how many responses we're getting and all this kind of stuff. It's really fantastic. So we'll go ahead and end the class. You guys have a fantastic Friday. Any questions, as always, you can email myself or marketing or Jamie. Enjoy the weekend, everybody.